Alrighty everybody, here we are on lesson 5, day 2. Okay, so we're starting on page 11 here in your packet. That's where lesson 5 starts, but we're going to skip to page 12 now because we're going to move on. We've done example 1. We're going to go straight to example 2 today. Alright, so it's the same idea as day 1, but these are little different types of problems. Alright, so example 2 says the superintendent of highways is interested in the number of commercial vehicles that use the county's highways. He obtains information from the Department of Motor Vehicles for the month of September and finds that for every 14 non-commercial vehicles, there were 5 commercial vehicles. If there were 108 more, this is important, underline it, 108 more non-commercial vehicles than commercial vehicles, how many of each type of vehicle used the county's highways during the month of September? Alright, and just so you guys know, so you're not too confused, non-commercial vehicles are kind of like what your parents drive, so like a regular car or a minivan, and then commercial vehicles are like the big trucks that you see on the highway. Okay, so the first thing you always do is we draw our tape diagram here. Alright, and now if you look back in here, the word more is in bold. So that means that wherever you see the cutoff here, where there are going to be more boxes to one side, you're going to draw a line. Draw a big line here to show the cutoff, where the more boxes are. Okay, so part A says label the part of the tape diagram that shows 108 more non-commercial vehicles. This is everything to the right of that line. That's 108 more. Okay, so that's why we draw that line. And then part B says how can you determine how much each unit is worth in the section you labeled for problem A. Okay, so this is 108 more. This is kind of the same idea as before. So all of these boxes I'm circling here equal 108. So we're going to do 108 divided by, we need to count how many boxes there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to divide by 9. And 108 divided by 9, you can use a calculator, or you can go off to the side. 108 divided by 9 is 12. So that means every single one of these boxes is 12. So go ahead and fill that in. Every box represents 12. Alright, and you can fill in the other boxes before the big line we drew as well. Alright, every box is 12. Okay, so we just did part B, so you don't need to write anything. But now part C says how many of each type of vehicle were registered in September. So if you go back up in the top, it said in September there were, I'll highlight it here, 14 non-commercial vehicles. So if we go back down now, for non-commercial vehicles we had 14, and we know that each box represents 12, so we times 12, and 14 times 12, put it in the calculator, is 168. So there were 168 non-commercial vehicles. So again, if you look back up top, if you look for how many commercial vehicles there were 5 commercial vehicles in September. So you go back down, and we're going to do the same thing again. So this time we had 5 commercial vehicles times 12, which is each box, and 5 times 12 is 60. So that's what you put there. Okay, so now we're going to move on to page 13, and we should already have number 2 done, so we're going to look at number 1 today. Okay, it says the ratio of the number of people who own a smartphone, so we're comparing a smartphone to the number of people who own a flip phone, is 4 to 3. Draw a tape diagram to show this ratio. So this is like what we did on yesterday's lesson. So we are comparing smartphone to flip phone. So those go on the side. And the ratio, it said 4 to 3. So smartphone is going to get 4 boxes. Alright, and flip phone is going to get 3. Okay, so we've drawn our tape diagram now. So if you look down below, it says if 500 more people own a smartphone than a flip phone, how many people own each type? So the key word more here, make sure you've underlined that. That is the most important part. That means that we need to draw that line. Alright, whenever you see the word more, we're going to draw this line. And it said that 500 more people owned a smartphone. So that means that this box, this is the more, there's only one box, so that means that whole box is worth 500. So that means every box is 500 as well. So go ahead and fill those in. Okay, so now it's asking how many own each type. So for a smartphone here, we see that there's 4 boxes. So we're going to do 4 times, each box is 500. So we know that 4 times 5 is 20, right? So we can put down 20 and then we have to add the last 2 zeros. So 2,000 people own a smartphone. And for a flip phone, there are 3 boxes. Each box is 500, so 3 times 500. 3 times 5 is 15, we know. And then you can add those last 2 zeros. So 1,500 people own a flip phone. Alright, we have one more to get to here. So if you flip to the next page now, so we are on page 14, we are going to look at number 4, and this is our last example. It says, at a country concert, the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls, that's what we're comparing, is 2 to 7. Draw a tape diagram to show the ratio. So we're comparing on the side, we're putting boys to girls. And it said the ratio is 2 to 7, so boys is going to get 2 boxes, and girls is going to get 7. It's going to go longer. Okay, so we've got our tape diagram here. So now if you look down below, it says that there are 250 more girls than boys. How many girls and boys are at the concert? So again, we have that word more, so we need to draw that line where the cutoff is, where there are more boxes on either the top or the bottom. So draw that line in. And it says that there are 250 more girls. So that means all of these extra boxes on the girls be on the line. This equals 250. So now we have to count how many boxes there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So we're doing 250 divided by 5. And if you do that in the calculator up to the side or in your head, that equals 50. So each box is worth 50. So you can go ahead and fill in all of those. Alright, so now that we have all of our boxes filled in, we can answer the questions down here. So it asked us how many girls and how many boys there are. So girls, we have 7 boxes times, there's 50 in each box, so 7 times 50, we know 7 times 5 is 35. And then we just add that 0 on, so there's 350 girls. And for boys, there's 2 boxes times 50. And we know that 2 times 50 is 100, so there's 100 boys. Alright, so make sure you have all this written down. If you have any questions, bring those into class tomorrow and we will go over this in class.